Uncommon Sense with the Senior Delinquents.
California has the most woke government in the country. And with its governor, Gavin Newsom, pushing gender bending ideologies, it's getting pretty darn confusing as to what you should call somebody these days. Well, thank God I could still call my co-host a gender neutral name. Welcome to another edition of Uncommon Sense with the Senior Delinquents. I'm Dennis Silvers in Las Vegas with my great co-host who's in beautiful Tampa, Florida. And Jamie, let me just say, you've had a busy summer with a lot of road trips, including California that I just talked about.
Oh, yeah. We went out to California to visit our son and his family.
Right.
But even at the start of the trip, it was a don't get me started situation. Construction, it took them 25, 30 minutes to get to us. In Tampa, you're there more than 2 or 3 minutes, and they have people who say you go to the cell lot or you get ticketed. LA, no, it's the Wild West.
Yeah.
In fact, when we were there, one vehicle was sitting there for 20 some minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And people couldn't get their cars in and out. But this trip was a little different. In addition to seeing the family, we basically, for things to do, we said, let's do the museum route.
Right.
So saw a lot of different museums, some very, very good. Museum of Natural History.
Cool.
Wonderful. The Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Some interesting exhibits, but you know what, Dennis? It reminded me a lot of the opening of the World Golf Hall of Fame. A lot of space, nice building, but not a lot of content.
Not a lot of stuff. Interesting.
That's something that really should change.
Yeah.
But the real thing that got my juices flowing was that I had an original piece and was being honored at the famous Broad Museum.
Really?
People say I'm long-winded, so I made this. I blew up this giant balloon animal. If you don't like it, sue me. It was nice to be honored, but there also was some very weird exhibits. The African American Heritage exhibit, what you're about to see could be very disturbing. I have to issue kind of an alert on it because it shows stuff not very meaningful in the sense of taste. There was another exhibit that showed a projection of a man hanging from a tree and what appeared to be a child filleting this person.
Oh,
and I wasn't about to ask anybody watching this if that's actually what it was, but
wow.
I just don't get it.
Wow.
Now, some of the other things that were interesting is they use teleportation. Side effects were a little disturbing. I shrunk to half my size, but it didn't last. Mostly what we did was arts and culture. That was LA, and even leaving, it was a little bit strange because midday terminal absolutely packed with people.
I bet.
And I had the experience of going to the men's room to discover they had a total of 3 urinals.
3? Wow.
Maybe the new LA airport will finish it will actually accommodate a few more people who have to take a leak.
Oh my gosh. You also visited, I know what was your old stomping grounds in the Carolinas.
Asheville. Now, I was sports director at the CBS affiliate in Spartanburg, WSPA. Do the people in Spartanburg or Greenville care what's happening in the other cities, of one of which was Asheville?
Right.
So I didn't really go to Asheville that much, but it made an impression on me, and it is a beautiful area.
Oh, yeah.
Very arts-oriented in terms of crafts and things like that. But I discovered that it was probably the birth of American comedy. There was a building dedicated to it.
Really?
My job was to find out really what comedy was all about in Asheville. So an ad for a comedy show, people coming from New York at the Haywood Country Club. Well, I don't want to go there and embarrass myself, so my wife and I, we dressed up a little bit. Then we discovered the Haywood Country Club, which was not a country club, but kind of a divey bar.
This thing, which looks like a cuttlefish.
It was our first LGBT comedy show. But now you have to include other letters like Q, I, and A. And for the farmers and farm animals, E-I-E-I-O. So you cover every base.
Everybody.
Every person was either lesbian or trans.
I was in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and the server was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." I'm like, oh, great.
In fact, the person you're seeing here, nice body, talked about getting her implants.
What an experience.
And actually, I was a glutton for punishment. I went to an open mic night to see up-and-coming talent.
Who's ready for their first comedian?
They had to use a megaphone instead of a microphone. And it was mostly,
I am not feeling well.
I would call it psychoanalysis of these people, with the emphasis definitely on psycho.
Oh my gosh. That's a perfect fit in. Oh gosh. Huh.
Well, we did have a little bit of normality too. We went to the Asheville Mall and discovered a whole economic subculture in terms of a market I never knew existed. Most women are fascinated by shoes. Of course, men are more sensible and practical. Or are they? At the Asheville Mall, a store that caught my eye led to opening my eyes about a business that I was never aware of. Collector and shoe expert Evan Stafford provided the education. There's definitely something happening in terms of new styles, new ways of looking at stuff. Tell us from your perspective as a shoe professional, what's going on?
People have just been getting into a reselling game. We do stuff like our store does where we resell them, put a higher price on it. But it's usually people getting into making the money.
It's an investment.
It is, yes.
Especially things like this,
Yeah.
because this is an extremely popular model, but something you wouldn't see every day. Do they buy them and then look to resell them, or do they wear them?
Some people do buy them for their own personal use. I do a lot. If they can get it for as low as they can for retail, they're gonna probably keep it for themselves. But, like these shoes, I think they release for like $60 to $80. They can go anywhere between $200 to $450, $500 even. So you can make a lot of money.
Do they say this is trending, or do you come in and say this is different, I'm going to take a chance on it that it's going to appreciate?
Yeah, you got to take a chance on yourself. So I know you've probably done a little bit of stocks, right? You got to take a risk. You don't really know if it's going to go up or down, but you don't want to take that risk. So go with your stocks that you know that usually do well. Like a Jordan 1, a Jordan 4, hold their value pretty good. The value is only 100. They usually go anywhere between 200 to 200 plus, I'll say that, because they can go for a bunch of prices.
Is it a younger type of guy's thing that they get into?
I would say it's pretty versatile. Everybody you can think of.
So it's more about
shoes.
dollar signs than any
Yeah.
group of people saying this is something that we identify with.
Yeah, if they can get a shoe like this that looks different, they're probably gonna go for it. They don't want something that everybody has.
$10,000 worn, $35,000 new. When it was introduced, unbelievable. People love their shoes.
That is astounding to me. So damn much money for shoes that people have worn previously. I mean, it's incredible. You could put all the shoes I've ever owned together and wouldn't come anywhere near the price that some of these people are asking for tennis shoes, Jamie.
If you had a Jordan shoe and you got athlete's foot, then you might have a great lawsuit. These shoes, I can't remember how old they are, but let's just say, but I keep them so that if I ever have to do something particularly disgusting and dirty, I don't care if I wear them and then throw them out.
Listen, if you want more of this silliness, you can always find Senior Delinquents on YouTube and Rumble. And of course, we urge you to go to our website to see everything, seniordelinquents.com.
Well, Dennis, as we wrap up this show, I have an announcement to make. I may be moving to California.
Really?
I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight or join us in California.
I just fell prey to Governor Newsom's advertising campaigns. Come to California. Just send them an email, said for $15 million, moving expenses in a very expensive electric car, I'll make the move.
Yeah, because you know I grew up in California, and so that'll be interesting, Jamie.
Well, on that note, having gone many places this summer and seen many strange things.
Oh, yeah.
And people who watch this show can share it with us. Until next time, once again, it's hi ho, Silvers.